There is a lot of misconceptions regarding the ketogenic diet. Despite the recent hype, however, this low-carb diet is not a new fad diet. In fact, the keto diet is rooted in ancient historical history. So let us bring this into a discussion because this keto diet is an interesting alternative for the treatment within certain pathological conditions. As already mentioned, the keto diet is the potential mimic to our ancestors and their dietary practices. The age-old generations that survived thriving during periods without the abundance of our overly prepared, simpler foods. Needless to say, our ancestors lived off the land, thriving on the foods from which they locally farmed, the grown nutritional resources, the considered whole foods that are on the verge of extinction today. Purposely mentioning here to call your attention towards the fact that many of the foods available today have undergone some notable changes due to the rise and the improvements within our technology. Food processing allows for the increased production and ease of convenience to the public. Now, during our modern day, the availability of these nutrient-void, ultra-processed foods has gone global. Sadly, those individuals that frequently consume these processed nutrient-void foods end up ingesting more and more calories, gaining the unsightly storage of the unhealthy body fat. This can be easily explained when one recognizes that the nutrients within our foods are needed by the body, supporting the human body and all the biochemical processes taking place in each and every single cell there within the body. When those important micronutrients are not available to the living system, this initiates the hunt, increasing the living body's need for nourishment, the so-called cravings we all know very well, as it is our foods that contain the body's required micronutrients. That is, speaking of the active vitamins and minerals that work at the cellular level. The ketogenic diet discipline is the ultimate low-carb diet plan that accelerates your ability to lose the unsightly body fat. To explain here, the keto diet discipline is a low-carb diet plan that promotes the metabolism, or preferably the removal of our stored body fat, breaking down this stored energy to supply the power that is needed for the physical body's energy-requiring demands. This breakdown of the deposited body fat increases the formation of what is called ketones. This is a biochemical process termed ketogenesis, and I am purposely mentioning it here to explain that the stored fatty acids are meant to be broken down for the uptake by our bodily cells as an alternative energy source. Now, to assist in your understanding about the formation of ketones. Ketone bodies are an alternative biological fuel source. You could say that the ketone bodies are water-soluble portions of the broken-down fatty acids, as during times of low circulating blood glucose, our stored fat tissue is broken down, and the excess circulates within the blood. Fatty acids cross the blood-brain barrier rather slowly. Therefore, as fuel, they cannot support the brain's metabolism. The production of ketone bodies by the liver provides fuel for the brain cells during times of low circulating blood glucose. This low-carb diet targets our fat cells, forcing the release of the fatty acids that have come to be stored within our fat tissue, oxidizing the fatty acids into the fatty acetyl coenzyme A molecules that now enter the Krebs cycle, an energy-producing cellular metabolic pathway that produces the cellular energy currency molecule, adenosine triphosphate, or preferably ATP. When there is an excess of the acetyl sugars formed from the release of large amounts of the fatty acids, this happens to overload the capacity of the Krebs cycle. Therefore, the acetyl sugars are then used to synthesize the ketone bodies within the liver. Ketone bodies serve as an energy source when circulating glucose levels are very low within the body. To further explain, ketones serve as a fuel in times of prolonged hunger or when individuals are suffering from uncontrolled diabetes and are unable to take up circulating glucose. Fat storage becomes used to generate energy through the Krebs cycle, and there is the generation of ketone bodies when too much acetyl coenzyme A accumulates. Our organs that have generally been thought to depend solely on glucose, such as our brain, can actually use these ketones as an alternative energy source. This will keep the brain functioning when circulating glucose levels are low. In the more extreme conditions, ketosis can progress into ketoacidosis, a dangerous condition in which severe ketosis is accompanied by a fall in our blood pH.